welcome. Oh, hold on. This will be more helpful. I'm very bad at this. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Hello. Welcome to my breakout room. This is for body paragraphs. My name is Ned. I like body paragraphs because I really like finding evidence and proving people wrong. It's my favorite thing. I know I'm a nerd. In this section, we're going to go ahead and look at your body paragraphs and give some insight and give you an example of one I've been writing. So go ahead and get your body paragraphs out or start a doc so you can start adding some stuff to your body paragraphs. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Share my screen. Good job. Yeah. All right. So body paragraphs have some important things in them. Our body paragraphs need to have an introduction sentence called our topic sentence. It has to have some details, and it should have our evidence that we analyze. Now, you have heard all about the teal. Your body paragraphs are essentially teals. So, to start off, we need to use this thing called SD2E. The SD2E is a strategy to help you with your analytical writing. It helps us provide a very strong topic sentence. What it stands for is the subject uses a device to blank an effect. All right, so S, subject, D, device, the number 2, like 2, fancy, right? And effect, E. So here's an example. Shakespeare uses foreshadowing to suggest that it's easy to blame fate when life feels out of control. All right, if you haven't brought your examples up yet, go ahead and do so. What I want you to do is find your first body paragraph and read the topic sentence of your body paragraph. Do we have SD2E in your body paragraph's topic sentence? If not, take a moment to think about how you can change that so it's nice and concise. If you're completely stumped, I came up with a couple examples for Othello. I said Shakespeare uses the dialogue of the Duke to explore the positive racial views of the play. Or Shakespeare uses Othello's decisions to deliver a subliminal message about his own self-worth. See how easy it is? All you have to do is use the formula. All right, with your body paragraph up, we want to see if you have these things. Do your body paragraph start with the topic sentence? Does your body paragraph have evidence embedded in it? Remember, our evidence has to be quotes, in this case, from Othello. Have you analyzed your evidence? And have you gone through the process again with a second piece of evidence? Our goal is to have 2 pieces of evidence in all of our body paragraphs. Now, one thing I've seen over the years, helping Mr. Roncone as his teacher assistant, I've seen people just slap their evidence inside of an essay. And it's so awkward. You get to it and you're like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? So, we want a nice smooth integration. Here are some examples of smooth integration on how we can work our information or our evidence into our passage without it being awkward, like me. So, it says, for example, in line 290 of Act 1, Scene 3, the Duke says, and then he says his quote there. If you notice something really important, I know that we're using Othello's information here. We still have to cite where it came from. So the first time you cite something, include Shakespeare. And then with your numbers, include the act, the scene, and the line. After you have mentioned Shakespeare once, you're welcome just to use the act, scene, and line numbers. Take a moment to check some of these other things out on this page. I'll give you a second. And see if it helps you to smoothly integrate some of your evidence in there. All right, here are some things to avoid as you're cruising through your essay, right? You want to avoid informal language, so try not to use contractions. Can'ts and don'ts, spell them out. Don't use slang, and most definitely don't use first or second person. All right, you got to keep your point of view in third. So no you, no me, no us, no we, no my opinion, no I thinks. All right, the next one, don't refer to the quote. Don't say things like one piece of evidence or this quote says. All right, so don't use those things when you're adding your evidence. Remember, zigzags. A teal paragraph will have anywhere from 6 to 8 sentences. Keep the verb tense in present tense, and you can use ellipses if you need to shorten things. You can alter and add text by using brackets around those words that you've added. Whenever you borrow information from a source to help support you, you can do a little bit of changing it up. Just a little. Don't get crazy. All right, let's check out my example essay. Is Cassio actually a good guy? All right, coincidentally, this is the one I chose. I know some other people maybe chose this one also. All right, here's my first body paragraph. It's going to go into my statement or my claim that he is a genuine friend of Othello. I said, for starters, Shakespeare includes examples of Cassio's character to show his genuine high regard for his friend Othello. All right, I'm going to highlight that first line blue because that's what I colored it in my thesis. I know the thesis looks familiar. Okay. All right. That way I know I've checked it off my list. I've used my new strategy, so my topic sentence is clear. Now the rest of my paragraph is explaining what my claim means and giving evidence, right? So I said, when Othello seems to be trapped at sea, it is Cassio who says, "Oh, let the heaven give him defense against the elements. My hopes do shape him for the governor." And I found that in Act 2, Scene 1, lines 46 through 47 and 58. As you can see, I used a slash to show that I changed lines, and I used an ellipses to show that I jumped in later, line 58 to be exact. Then my next sentence is where I started explaining what that says, right? Shakespeare clearly presents Cassio as worried for his friend by praying that the heavens will see him through the rough waters to safety. Later, when Othello asks his right-hand man to guard the party, Cassio tells him, "Notwithstanding, with my personal eye, will I look to it." I used my citation here, then I go on to explain it. So each of my pieces of evidence need an explanation also, or they need to have an analysis. At the end of my paragraph, I reminded my reader what exactly I was talking about as my claim here. His concern and respect for Othello are two of the biggest indicators that Shakespeare uses to show how friendly Cassio really is. Okay, take a moment, if you haven't yet, check into your passage. Does your body paragraph start with a very good topic sentence? Around the second or third sentence, have you explained a little bit more and given your first piece of evidence? If so, give yourself a little check. After you've given your evidence, did you go ahead and give us an analysis by telling us what exactly Shakespeare is saying and why it's important for your paragraph? Awesome. And the next part, did you repeat that same situation? You gave the piece of evidence, then you gave your analysis. And last but not least, is the last sentence in your paragraph a good recap of what you are trying to tell your reader in your paragraph? Check that out. All right. Now you'll follow this same pattern for all of your body paragraphs. Start with your topic, deliver evidence, analyze that evidence, and then don't forget to link it back to what you want your reader to walk away with for that paragraph. That'll do it for me. Thank you for joining my breakout. You have some options. You can head to our next breakout, all about your conclusion, or you can head back to the main room to finish class. The choice is yours. Bye.